Hi and welcome to Media House TV. Our channel brings you the best in both Nigerian and international news, entertainment and music, and much, much more. Please subscribe today. Media House TV, we bring you the best.
Thank you very much indeed. The Governor from Edo.
Honorable Ministers, distinguished participants, good morning. I guess the difference between a minister and a governor, outside of seeking election, is that the minister talks through and thinks through policy. But as a local politician, I have to deal with the recipients of those policies. This morning, I'm just going to share our experience from Edo State. Edo State is a subnational, one of the 36 states in Nigeria. Up till the 70s, we had a very strong and good educational system. But after 3 decades of military rule, there was massive underinvestments in education, and things began to fall apart. Teachers were not paid regularly, and many of them lost interest in teaching. Our public schools now started churning out illiterates who barely had any literacy and numeracy skills. This has led to massive unemployment and created a state of hopelessness amongst our youths, with a resultant effect that many of them just didn't want to stay at home anymore and started looking out to travel to other parts of the world. This has led to massive human trafficking and irregular migration from the states. In fact, my state accounts for 60% of the irregular migrants from Nigeria. Those guys trying to cross from Libya into Europe. And so after seeking election in late 2016, we realized very quickly that reforming our educational system was a key challenge we had to focus on. And in doing that, we consulted very widely and came up with a 5-pillar process to dealing with the challenge. Key to the pillars was first to just rethink education, focusing on basic education, because we felt if you got the basic education right, which is the foundation for education, everything else will fall in place. And key to that is governance, providing very clear leadership as you redesign the system and build back all the elements that will create the organization to deliver education. Yes, in my state accounts for one of the lowest out-of-school accounts for the out-of-school children are quite low relative to some other parts of the country. So the issue was not about schooling. It was more about the quality that these children were receiving from the education we were providing. So the 5 pillars were first strengthening the system, focusing on teacher education and teacher development, rethinking the curriculum, what sort of outcomes do we seek for these children who we're providing basic education for. And the other part that's very unique, different about what we did beyond introducing technology, was getting communities engaged with the reform, ensuring that we had school-based management systems where parents, teachers, community leaders were involved in and took an interest in what the kids were learning in school. And lastly, fixing the infrastructure, making the classrooms comfortable, making school look like school so that the kids will be anxious and eager to leave home to go to school. In April 2017, we launched what we call the IdoBEST, Edo Basic Education Sector Transformation. And core to it was just to ensure that we transform the human capital of our state and eventually the country. It was based on working with the private sector. We had a partner in Bridge who provided the technology and the, some of the expertise required. This is significant, and it's because we appreciated the fact that we did not have the skills in-house, and we needed as a government to go out to engage with those who knew how to do it right. Also key to the system is using technology, because technology then introduces transparency. So today, from my office, I can tell when a teacher is in class, and if the teacher has completed their lesson notes for that day. So the technology clearly increased digital transformation and transparency at every level. And the system also provided for supporting teachers. What's the result? It's been, for us, quite transformational. Within 12 months, we have been able to serve over 300,000 of our children in our basic school system. We've trained over 11,000 teachers and actually undertaken a physical transformation of about 900 out of our 1,000 basic schools. The results have been rapid and, if I must say so, also dramatic. We're now seeing, very impressive learning outcomes. Apart from just a change of attitude of the kids who want to go to school because they want their names to be on the character board. We find out that in their first term, students on the IdoBEST program have learned as much as they used to in almost the full previous year. We've also seen rapid transformation in teaching practices, 2 times the increase in feedback to individual students, and we've seen more than a 50% reduction in corporal punishments. There's renewed public trust in our public school system, and we're now seeing parents withdraw their kids from the private schools, which are not properly, not properly or greatly governed, to our public schools. Politically, though it was risky, but it's paid off, because we've found out that the areas, the segments of society we expected resistance from, the unions, actually have turned out to be our greatest supporters, because they've seen us transform, the teacher education. They've seen us support their members and enhance the capacity of the teachers. Parents are now very excited. In my database, I have almost 400, the telephone numbers of almost 400,000 parents, and who I expect will vote their fate in my elections this year, since they will not want this program stopped. So for us, it's been an experiment that's paid off. We know there's still challenges, but we now have the basis to now compare learning outcomes with global standards, and our experience has been an impetus to other states. A few of them are here with us, and it's also helping the policymakers at the national level to also rethink education policy. I want to end by stating that it's not just about technology and policy. It's about leadership and good governance. With the right leadership, good governance, then every other policy and every other reform that's intended has a chance to thrive. I want to thank you for listening and say good morning once again.
Thank you. There is such